Mm-hmm.
It's time for the shop report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. If you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, the number to call is area code 267-687-0026. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. I'm sure my panelists today are well aware of the disturbing video, and I call it disturbing video, of Delonte West, former NBA player, Cleveland Cavalier, teammate of LeBron James. And when I say disturbing, it is, I can't even finish it because I can't find the words to describe that. Joining me on the show today to discuss this and the rest of our topics are none other than my cat from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, Richard Jones. I'm sorry, Brother Rich. Brother Rich, what's happening? Sorry, it was a slip of the tongue.
Well, all in spite of the honor that you pay me by calling me after your dad, I would appreciate that. I'm not your father. My name is not Jerry Jones. I am, just a simple, humble servant of the people.
With them rented mules that's being beaten down. Peter. And on the other side of the ledger, we got my man from up north. That's Norf. Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. Tell the people what you say.
Another Super Bowl is coming upon us, and another without your beloved Cowboys. Great day.
You know what? I appreciate it. If you're going to be sarcastic, could you please be on time with your sarcasm? Meanwhile, back at the ranch. And then last but not least, my man from the CO Lumbus, D. Gully. Gully, what the deal be?
Everything is wonderful down in the CO Lumbus. Great to be back with you guys today, and appreciate you inviting us down to Texas Stadium to watch the Super Bowl from Jerrysville. I appreciate that, brother. Barbershop. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to flying down, man. I'll see you down there.
Brother Rich, for you to laugh at that, okay, got you. I see I'm putting an ad in the paper. We're going to get some new hires up in here. You know what I mean? Maybe a couple of robots. Maybe. I'm not sure. You all's attempt at humor is terrible. I mean, that's with a capital terrible. It's terrible. Y'all might want to don't quit your day jobs. But anywho, getting back to the topic I'd like to discuss, if that's okay with you all, this whole idea, the video the disturbing video of what happened or what's going on apparently with Delonte West. And I'm sure you all have seen the video by now. Yes, no, maybe. Oh, now y'all ain't got nothing to say. Okay.
Yeah, we did see that.
Okay, well, Brother Richard said we have, but he was the only one talking. So, I mean, what are we doing here? We playing musical co-hosts?
I was speaking for my brethren with the understanding that was somehow a rhetorical question because the said video is in such circulation that having not seen it, all the members of this panel would have some recourse, some way by which they would see it, sir.
Yeah, right. And just spread powdered sugar on that pile of poo. Yeah, it's a funnel
cake,
I tell you.
I need you to defend me in court, Brother Rich. Thank you so much, man, with that eloquent and efficient response to where Barbershop was going. I need you, brother, by my side as legal counsel if ever I get into trouble. Thank you so much.
Oh, my gosh. Gag me with a spoon. My gosh. Oh, y'all landed on thick. I'm talking about porterhouse thick. Yeah, well, come with me to the Casbah where you know what? Your eyes are like Olympic-sized pools. Man, save it. Anyway, now that we, took up 15 minutes of showtime for everybody to go through their little Stephen A. soliloquies about whether or not if they saw the video. Apparently, Double J didn't. Or he, like Zion Williamson, nodding off over there during the showtime. Wake up, will you? Gully, we'll start with you, man. What? Give me your thoughts. What's the, like, surmise it? Give me a sentence and say, when you saw the video, what?
It's really it's sobering and it's disheartening to see that, because we look at a person that we only know him as a professional athlete, so we don't know him as a person. We don't know of all of this, let's say, his ills or his demons and whatnot. But what we do know is mental health is a serious problem, especially for African Americans. And you have a guy who had we're so affected by it because we seen him with a jersey on. We seen him challenge the best of the best at the highest level. We seen him work in partnership with the best of the best at the highest level. I mean, you and I, Barbershop, we definitely held Delonte West in high regard in his tenure as a Cavs for his defensive tenacity and his willingness to play ball. So obviously seeing that professional side of him, I guess for me, it definitely tugs at, definitely makes me feel some type of way to see him in such a state, because it's like we see a guy with so much potential. But again, it goes back to the idea of mental health being a very serious issue with Black Americans in the African American community, and how hopefully this galvanizes people to really take their mental health seriously. And if there are family or friends that want to do more than lip service, to reach out to a person who I think is beloved by a lot of people.
Double J?
Yeah, I mean, certainly a very sad state of affairs presently. I mean, he's 36 years old. So, as we all know, the pension program does not kick in until he's in his 60s. However, there is some contract element to how these guys still do get paid prior to the pension. A good example of that is actually Allen Iverson, who we all know is not 62 years old, and he's getting money back now. I believe it's once you hit 40, you start getting some of your checks back, which is for him was roughly about $1 million at least. So he's been able to turn it around since then. I'm hoping that in the meantime somebody does intervene. I think at this point, I point to my own experiences within the NFL, and it was very family oriented. So someone needs to really step in here, and there's a lot of folks that have the power to do so. And most importantly, I hope he's willing to receive the assistance and to turn this thing around.
And Brother Rich, before you weigh in, I'd like to add, we've been countless times throughout this program or doing this program or whatnot. I in particular have been hard on LeBron James. We all know that, right? It's well documented. But apparently there's some reports that, I saw one report where Dez Bryant, I don't even know why I even said it, former Dallas Cowboy receiver Dez Bryant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonder why you heard that report.
Yeah. Reached out.
Got the alert on the old phone there.
Can I finish? I'll let you all talk. Thank you. My goodness. Oh yeah, I'm putting an ad in the classified. Delonte. Dez Bryant reached out to Delonte, in an effort I'm figuring to help him out of this situation that he's in, or at least try to see what's going on or whatnot. Which I give kudos to him and anybody else. But again, more in particular, there's reports that LeBron James, was emphatic, about, or telling Maverick Carter, like, go get that dude, whatever he need, whatever he got, whatever he don't got, make sure he got it. And I'm just here to tell you, he get mad props for me on that. And I say that in part because I was going back and forth with some folk in a Facebook thread. I'm in a few groups as I've mentioned before, and one of them is called the Locker Rooms. Cats in Chicago. It's a real good group too, by the way. But the thread went on and on and on. We got on this once the video was shown. We got on this thread, man, for about a good 2 hours, people was just commenting. And I was just taken aback by the disdain for the guys, for Delonte's situation, and the comments from people who wanted to make it all about, we all know the story connected to Delonte and allegedly LeBron's mother and so on and so forth. And I'm like, wow, really? That's crass. Now, hey, I'll talk about a dude's game all day, every day, and I'll say this and saying and that. And again, it's well documented. But I draw the line. You know what I mean? What Delonte is going through, and to see him on that video, I couldn't even watch the whole thing. You know what I mean? Because if you have an iota of compassion, your heart got to go out to the guy. You know what I mean? To have, quote unquote, fallen so far from grace, if you would. So, I just, it's just interesting because all of the people it was just, I'm not going to even go down the list of stuff that I read people saying. But they all people who, in previous engagements with them back and forth, they love LeBron James. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So the one time where anybody and everybody can put sports and differences aside, and this man come out and reach his hand out and make sure how can you as an individual, as a human being, be salty about that? This is beyond basketball or beyond points per game or beyond BPI or beyond analytics. Them same folks that love him on any other crap. And again, me, I'm always giving them the business. I'm like, man, this is bigger than that. And they like, oh man, F him. And I'm like, what? Seriously? Man, y'all bass awkward. I'm calling y'all straight up bass awkward. But again, mad props to Bron for reaching out to that dude, man. Because, sometimes these guys, when they retire, like, when's the last time we heard of Antoine Walker or heard what's going on with Antoine? You know what I mean? When these guys are out of the spotlight, who knows what happens to them? You understand what I'm saying? And, I too had really not given any thought to Delonte, and it's not a bad thing. And I just had, life goes on, stuff be moving, happening every day type deal until I saw this video. So for Bron to reach out to that dude like that, man, you get mad props from me. I ain't saying I'm somebody. I ain't saying I'm not nobody. But Barbershop Jay said it, man. You get mad props from me on that one because it ain't got nothing that he did what any person with an ounce of compassion would do. He reached out to that man immediately. And, I've seen more than one report. He was like, hey, like, what y'all waiting on? Go get that dude. So, mad props to Bron on that one. Brother Rich, go ahead.
Well, I think you said it, brother. You cannot say the name Delonte West for obvious reasons without saying the name LeBron James. And that the fact that LeBron did exactly what everyone was anticipating he would do, all his fans, all his admirers would expect him to do. Because he is the king, and it is his kingdom. He is the most powerful voice probably in the history of modern sports as we can look at it today, all parameters concerned. So obviously when you see that Delonte West is in that condition, I anticipated, when I saw the video, the first thing I thought about was exactly that people who were fans of LeBron James would say he deserved that. And people who believe that he did some malfeasance with the young man's family member would use that as saying he deserves to be in that condition because this is the human condition. This is one of the things about the human condition that we like to see people fall down and be in the condition so we could look at them rather than say, woe is there, but for the grace of God or Allah or Jah or Jesus Christ or whatever you believe, there I go. But rather than that, we like to look at them and say, I see him. But it shows the character and the quality of the human being that LeBron James is and continues to be, that he says, nah, I knew this guy's linked to me, and I can't have this guy out here as a human being. I got enough resources that I can take care of that guy. Wherever he is, he can reach out, have his staff reach out, and you say he instructed Maverick, his one of his right-hand men, to reach out and take care of that matter and resolve that young man and give him whatever resources. But let me close out on this. Gully pointed us to something initially when he talked about the conditions of mental health and how we are as a community impacted by that. And I think it is disrespectful of the NBA to even allow that to go out here in the public and to exist for longer than 10 hours without understanding that that's one of their own. He wore the brand of NBA for however long he wore it. He played with one of the greatest players in the history of the game, and you have a former NBA player out here looking like we can tell totally now out of his mind. More hypocrisy on behalf of these quote-unquote billion-dollar multi-mega corporations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well said, bro, Rich. The number to call is area code 267-687-0026. That number again, area code 267-687-0026. Okay, up next. Brother Rich, I think you're going to like this. We have said on this show, time and time again, when we talk about the NBA, the Today BA, New BA, basketball, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But in particular, we've highlighted a time or two James Harden and the Rockets, what he is and what they won't ever be as long as he and D'Antoni are connected, so to speak. Brother Richard, you have pointed out on more than one occasion. If you would, could you please repeat your tagline, so to speak? And when it comes to James Harden?
We will say, check the tape, pull the tape, check the tape that James Harden no team that is led by James Harden will ever win anything. James Harden is the most overrated superstar in the NBA. James Harden, in the day when we, as you call it, talk about the rucker, if James Harden went to the rucker, he would be a scrub.
Oh, there's some Harden fans that's listening on the P-roll grab. They are not going to like that. You say he's a what? He's a TLC, huh? Don't want no skid rub. Yeah. Well, Caron Butler weighed in on the whole idea of James Harden, and in particular, playing alongside of James Harden. And I quote, I don't think a lot of people really want to sign up for this run track or this running track deal. You know what I'm saying? This track meet. He said people run and sprint the floor for opportunities, and when you're just a spacer and standing there with limited possessions, it's not something you want to be a part of. Now, although we're talking about James Harden and the Rockets and whatnot, does this not speak to why I call it the Today BA, New BA, and basketball? And how come this era will never be better? Does it not speak to that? He called the other guys for James Harden spacers. Wow. All this new terminology for these guys, you know what I'm saying? This load management and all this new terminology coming up for these guys who's so much better than everybody else who ever did it. You know what I mean? But there's so many more excuses to go along with it. But I digressionize. I'm not going to belabor the point. So, Brother Rich, what say you?
Yeah.
If you could add anything to what Caron Butler said.
We can only say what Caron Butler can only say what the history of basketball informed us over many millennia. And that is that a 6'5", 220-pound, in essence, limited point guard who needs to create a shot by dribbling the ball 900 minutes on a 901-second shot clock. This young man is going to limit your offense in ways that everyone else must just stand around and watch it. And in critical moments, any simple-minded coach can design a defense to destroy that. So that's why in the playoffs, he never is consistent. He has never shown up in a critical moment in the playoffs. And as you see right now, he's on a terrible streak because if you play him any kind of decent defense consistently, everybody knows that with a shooter, you can throw this shot off just playing good, consistent defense. And if you get him out of his rhythm, which he needs his rhythm, he's going to make everybody else stand around and do nothing, and that you're going to lower team morale. And in that kind of at that level, any consistent basketball player knows that it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
And you know what?
D'Antoni, how does he keep a job in the NBA? We want to know.
Yeah, for sure. That I second that question. But you know what else is interesting? Like I said, we had this conversation before, and I said that too, Brother Rich. To defend a guy like Harden, you don't even have to play defense, so to speak, in the Today BA.
No.
All you got to do is just like Patrick Beverly do to Cats. Just get in his way. Just agitate him. Be like a mosquito. pick him up early, stay with him, or have somebody always constantly being there before he can really get comfortable, if you would. And he's not the same kind of player. He's a volume guy, a stat guy, a BPI guy, analytics type guy. But when it really, really matters, everybody want to talk about how great a scorer he is and all of this. Oh, okay. But don't none of it seem to play itself out when it come time in them moments that will validate why everybody say he is what he is. Let me read this right quick. Double J, we're going to come to you. Caron Butler also says, James Harden is one of the deadliest offensive players ever. That's what I've been saying. One-dimensional. How you going to be player? When you say a guy is a great player, doesn't that encompass both ends of the floor? You understand what I'm saying? So he's a great offensive player. He said James Harden is one of the most deadliest offensive players ever, but the Rockets' style of play. Oh, what was that right there? Style of play. Oh, have we not heard that before? Ad nauseum, maybe? Isn't an issue just for anyone with eyes. Playing next to Harden and Westbrook means picking up their slack on defense, running hard in transition, and standing in the corner so you maybe get a catch and shoot opportunity. If you're anything more than that kind of specialist, Houston is going to be the last team on your wish list. Double J, what say?
Well, to add insult to injury, they're also one of the worst fourth quarter teams in the league. So to me, that's just a microcosm of all the things that you guys have pointed out up to this point. We've seen his shooting woes, that he is, one game away from tying the rest of the league, or in NBA, he would tie NBA history single-handedly with that type of scoring or lack thereof. Which, let that sink in for a minute when those want to label him as great. Additionally, matter of fact, just a mere moments ago, my Pistons seat sold. So somebody wants to go see Harden and Westbrook, because I certainly did not. So,
yeah.
All right. So great. What a great evening.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You get.
No. Again, here's the problem. If it were anybody else, anyone else, as Brother Rich pointed out, if he went to the Rucker, which Kevin Durant had,
mm-hmm.
and that Kobe Bryant had,
mm-hmm.
this man would get. He may catch a whooping out there.
That's an understatement.
Before he gets back to the Uber.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me say this too, right quick, Double J. The one thing I love about the Rucker, when you, Brother Rich, and you know this, when you step through that fence, in that opening in that fence, them dudes on that court, they don't care who you are.
Right.
They don't care where you from. They don't care that you got 4 million likes. They don't care that you got a pocket. They don't care nothing about that. Matter of fact, if I was you, I wouldn't go in there saying nothing about nothing. Because they're going to be like, oh, you that guy? Oh, okay. Everybody on the court that day that you play, they gonna do. You remember what Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan said when Tony Kukoc, when it was talk about Tony Kukoc possibly joining the Bulls when he was playing, I guess it was the Olympics or something like that or whatever.
Absolutely.
They was like, man, we about to get this boy to business. That's how them Rucker cats get down. That's how them Rucker cats get down. You know what I mean? Man, you ain't come. You got to. No. You got to bring it, baby. You got to bring it. That's why he ain't brought his up there. James Harden, that is. Gully, what's happening?
The Oklahoma City Thunder are currently 25-19. They're the 7th seed in the West. The Houston Rockets are 26-16, the 6th seed in the West. I forfeit the rest of my time. Thank you.
Yeah. Good Good way to get up out of there on that, yeah. But kudos to Brother Rich, who has been saying it about Harden. And then to hear Caron Butler say it. Now, I'm not one of them folks that say, you got to really pay attention to what's being said by some of these former players, because a lot of them be like Alex Trebek for Colonial Penn. They do, especially Scottie Pippen. 1 minute he better than LeBron, the next minute he better than Jordan, and then next minute ain't neither one of them better than him. You know, he be all over the place. Man, the boy be flip-flopping so much. I'm telling you, I'm starting to think that they're going to make an Olympic event just a flip-flopping just because of Scottie. But what Caron said here can be validated. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? You don't sound like a former player who trying to live vicariously through Harden or, you know, restore some sort of glory or, you know, have his moment back in the paper so he won't be forgotten. He's just telling it like, look, man, everything he said, and, of course, again, what Brother Richard has been saying, you can see. And you know what? Let me add this as well. I'm sorry. The MLK, shout out to Martin Luther King, happy belated, the whole nine. But them games, every last one of them games it's atrocious. It's atrocious. It's bad, man. It's bad. The possessions and the bad possessions and the accumulation of, or the volume of, or find another adjective you want to use to describe the amount of them, they're increasing, and it's getting worse. Now, if I'm lying, please, somebody point that out.
Hey, you know what? I'd like to add along with this when we're talking about what we talked about with Harden, what you just brought up about the games. Let's talk about a modern-day player. Did you see the comments that Giannis Antetokounmpo said about flopping and charging?
Oh, my goodness.
About,
yes.
Okay, you add that. Now, again, this is the future face of the league, if he ain't already. Until LeBron James, until they actually conceded, I guess.
I don't know. It might be Luka.
Without a doubt.
Well, I'll say this, though. That's interesting, because the NBA might have a couple of guys who could be the face of the league. Could be. But go ahead.
But my point is, point is, one of them, basically one of the league's modern ambassadors,
right,
talked about it. So we add this element, plus something that I think all of us have seen in the last week, the top 200 shots taken
we talked about that
2019-2020 season. Okay, that shot chart and these elements tell you without a doubt, I don't care how much more athletic, more physically gifted the modern league is, there's no way there's no way. Let's also add Popovich's comments about how and these comments to me illustrate that I think his time is coming to an end because I think he's bored. It's uninteresting to coach. It's very simple. If you can't defend the three, you're done. If you can't defend the three, you'll succeed, but it's all about the three ball. Even though, you could say it could be hypocritical. Everyone, at one point in time, the Spurs were, one of those years recently, they were like a league leader in terms of three-point attempts, but I still think they were.
They started this gangster stuff.
They did what, Brother Rich?
They started it at a time where they still had balance because they still had a very dominant, prominent inside presence. So even if they did start it, they were not like teams now who have no interior presence and are all perimeter. They did have balance because they still had Duncan during that time. Fair enough, but it is fair enough to say, and that's why I wanted to stop short of saying that they're totally innocent in the development or the transition of just the three or nothing ball, if you will, that the NBA plays. My point is this game is not nearly as sophisticated as it should be because we do have better, smarter, more athletic guys. There are more Kevin Durant type athletes, if you will, at that height of range. And so because of that, there should be a much, much better, more smarter, more sophisticated game, which is why I think we need to give more credit. We need to do it on the show. Give more credit, give more time to the WNBA and the female basketball that plays the entire court.
Well, a couple points. One, I've long since been an advocate of the WNBA, women's basketball, period. because said on many occasions, from a fundamental perspective, the game is played much, much better. But to what Brother Richard said, the Spurs may have started it, but I'll tell you one thing about the Spurs. The Spurs, if you took that same 200 shot chart with the Spurs in any year that Duncan was there or any year that you thought the Spurs was or whatever they wasn't, I bet you they'd have red dots all over that court. They still played a brand of basketball that utilized every spot, especially in the half-court set. And what they used to do defensively disrupted what you did offensively. So they still play with a semblance of respect for craft. This stuff here, it's either all or nothing. And how's that basketball? And then lastly, to Gully's point about what Giannis said about flopping, the league is built for flopping now. And somebody retorted on Facebook, yeah, but that's why they got to that's dumb, that's asinine, because you can get fined for flopping. Well, they got a last 2 minute report too, and that don't stop them from doing dumb. Listen, Arnold Rothstein is all up in the building, okay? So I stop it. And then on top of that, what Luka said about Jordan. He said, man, there ain't nobody like that dude, man. All the rest of that stuff is just stats. Holla. See what I'm saying? The game we seeing right now has not evolved. We talked about this last week. That's not evolved. I'd like for somebody to point out to me specifically, based on the definition of evolution or the evolution of, and give me 5 points that would validate that the game has truly evolved, and meaning gone from the simple to the complex. The number to call if you're out and about, you want to give us a shout, area code 267-687-0026. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. Okay, this next one, boy, Brother Richard, you just all up in the headlines today, right? This next one is a real juicy one, fellas. Yeah, slow it down. Don't pat yourself on the back. Slow it down there, Kimosabe. Now, y'all know, me and Brother Rich, before I even met you, Double J, and Gully, I don't know if he was always privy to it, but me and Brother Rich used to constantly, and we done did it on this platform, we constantly go back and forth. This has been an ongoing thing with me and him for about, 23,000 years. I only knowed you for 10. This whole thing about coaches and responsibility and players and do a fall on the AAU, la-da-da, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what my man Kobe Bryant, Jelly Bean, Mamba Black said? Huh? Oh, and by the way, did you all get Kobe's book, his latest book? Did anybody get his book? No? All these Kobe fans and don't nobody got his book? Wow, so disrespectful. So disrespectful.
I'm reading something different right now.
I don't care what you're reading right now.
What's his book?
What you mean? What Kobe book? Is that what you asked me? Please tell me that's a rhetorical question.
No. What's the name of this book?
You Google it. Google it. How dare you?
You know what? Just like Cowboy fans, man. Honestly, open our minds, and here he goes.
Yeah. Open up your laptop. Do that. Open up your laptop. Double J, sound to me like you got something smart to say. Is that you? Or is that Brother Rich? Oh, okay. Yeah, 3 mules.
No, sir, it's not me, not I.
Okay,
not
all right. Well, I'm just checking. You know, I'm ready for y'all today. But anyway, courtesy of Basketball Network, another group I'm in. Oh, and I think Basketball Network, if I'm not mistaken, is ran by some either former NBA folk or current NBA, somebody involved in the NBA, if I'm not mistaken. But this is Basketball Network. Double J, did I invite you to Basketball Network?
You did not.
Oh, Gully, did I invite you? Oh, you're not gonna say.
I want a carbon copy what Double J's statement was.
Well, could you? What is with the 25-second delayed response? Well, you ain't got your Fisher Price earplugs in or something? I mean, what? What's happening here? Hop on your green machine and roll out then. How about that? Anyway, Yeah, I'm going to have to invite you all to that group. They sent me an invitation. And I got a top badge, too. Ha, ha, Double J. Get to the back of the room, baby. Anywho, courtesy of...
Right next to his Cowboys patch.
Well, we already know it ain't going to be no Super Bowl parade for the Browns, unless you're talking about the parade that was 0-16. But be my guest, because I got the best seat in the house, at the house. Anywho, courtesy of Basketball Network, like I was trying to say here, Brother Rich, and these are Kobe's exact words. Kobe said he feels it is his job to pass on the knowledge that MJ, Jerry West, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Bill Russell gave to him. But, he said, it starts with the player knowing his or her weakness and what makes him or her uncomfortable. You got to know your game, Mamba mentality. Huh? The biggest thing for these kids, the biggest thing for kids these days is they rely on coaches too much and workout guys. You have to tell them what you need. You have to be able to say, I'm uncomfortable with this coming from the player. You got to tell the coach he's saying, hey, look, man, I don't like just jacking up threes. Huh? I want to eat from everywhere. I want to be a 5'2" player because that's what's really happening here, fellas, if we ain't paid attention to it. Oh, let me let you know right now, the day of the 5'2" player is about to be a distant memory. Brother Rich, what you got to say?
But here's the thing that I want you to reflect on.
Oh, hey, to the no. I'm not about to let you do that.
Sir,
hold on. Hold on. No. Let me. Do I have to? Are you getting ready to say something where I had to call Kobe? Are you really getting ready to say something where I had to call the Mamba and get your season tickets revoked?
I'm gonna look. You know that I am the president-elect.
Okay.
Of the Kobe Bryant fan club.
Didn't sound like it was starting out that way.
The issue here is not whether or not I agree with Kobe. Of course I agree with Kobe. I agree with Kobe. The problem with your comment that I would take is everybody is not Kobe. Kobe, see, it's a special athlete, him or her, that wants to look in the mirror of themselves and be critiqued in that way. This is why the league is like that. This is why today's league, the players have more power than the coach, and they can get rid of the coach because, for the most part, today's players have been coaxed, not coached. Nobody coaches them. They just get coaxed. Oh, you're this, or you're that, or you're the star of so and so. AAU, that, and this is why Kobe is saying, don't rely on them guys to just tell you what you want to hear necessarily. Find out what's weak in your game. Critique me. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Look, let me be able to come to you and say, hey, Coach, what's up with my left hand? I want to get better with my left hand. That's the kind of thing. Anybody on this call, anybody on this radio, any of our listeners who's ever been around athletes or played sports themselves, there was always a difference between that particular player who worked on his or her game, who didn't need any inspiration to do it. They sought somebody out to do this extra work. But then there's somebody who's always just happy that practice is over. Man, what were you doing today? They don't want to run sprints. Man, why we got to shoot again? Man, why we got to run? Man, what does sprints have to do with basketball? Man, why we just can't do jump?
But the cream going to always rise to the top.
One of our
That guy's going to fall off to the wayside.
One of the greatest basketball players of all time. I'm going to close on this.
Oh, boy.
One of the greatest basketball players of all time, and I love him forever. But he was famous for saying this. Well, it was misquoted, I agree, but he was famous. He's legendary for saying this. You are asking me about practice. So today's players don't see practice as essential. Jordan saw practice like this is the game. Y'all take this as serious as the game. Kobe saw it. This is the game. This is not just practice. What we do here, we will take. I was taught this. Perfect practice makes perfect. It's not just practice makes perfect. It's perfect practice makes perfect. So a Jordan, Kobe, a Bird, they want to be perfect in their practice. Everybody don't want to do that. Some people just practice man, I just want to practice and get out of here. I've been around people like that. You've been around them. We
Yeah.
all know people who work like that, we all know people like that.
Yeah, but you know what though, and it's not to you literally, Brother Rich, but that expression, that's a false expression. That perfection. See, you and I know what's perfect, right? What's already understood need not be explained, right? So as individuals, we have to be careful what we're saying being perfect, because if we strive for perfection, that's something you can never attain as a human being. You can never attain perfection. You just can't. You know what I'm saying? But on the flip side, I like to say practice makes permanent. You feel me? Practice makes permanent, because that muscle memory and all of that.
I'm going to call foul on you, Barbershop, because I said that, man.
No, you did not.
Yes,
oh,
I did,
man, you
I've
know
been
what?
saying that
No,
since
you did not.
1994.
No, you ain't been saying.
Yes, I've been saying
I've
that
been
since
saying.
1994.
I've been saying that since before you.
I can prove it. Coach Robinson in my CYO league, that was his thing. He said, "You practice bad habits, you learn bad habits. Practice makes permanent, not perfect."
Okay, well
But
then
anyway,
okay, I ain't saying your
But
coach
I
didn't say. Yeah, digress. You better. Yeah, that's what you need to do. You need to digress. I've been saying it since.
Jerry Jones stole. Gully. Jerry Jones stole his first aura rig too. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little plagiarism in the Mr. Jones family.
Yeah,
I know it. I know it.
No,
right? That's where you get it from.
Barbershop Jay don't plagiarize.
Tree.
Barbershop Jay don't have to plagiarize. That's where you going with this, Brother Rich? Okay, yeah. You be expecting the call. Yeah, be expecting the call. That's what you do. Oh yeah. You done crossed the line. You done crossed the line. But Brother Rich, let me say this to you though. You're right though. These players have been given too much too soon, and we go all the way back to when we had the discussion about how the media, and I don't dismiss the role that they play in it when they do these high school football players. You know what I mean? The dudes sticking microphone under the dude chin and announce what college he going to and all of that. They make the circus. You get what I mean? I get all of that. But what Kobe is saying here is it starts with the player knowing his weakness. He ain't say nothing about, well, he did, but he said that after the fact. He said this first, though. It starts with the player knowing his or her weaknesses, what makes them uncomfortable. See what I mean? Which is the same conversation I used to have with my son when he was playing. I hate losing. No, you don't. Yeah, I do. What you talking about, Dad? I said, well, if you hate losing, why am I sitting here having this conversation with you because you're sitting on the couch in the house? See what I'm saying? At some point, whether you 15, 25, 35, 45, or 55, on all points in between, something in you has got to say, hey, man, I bumped my head the last time I was going down the stairs. Well, I'll make sure I don't do that again. That might be a bad analogy, but you gotta want to say, man, I'm tired of this dude beating me left. I'm tired of this dude beating me left. I got to do something about this. You know what I mean? Man, I'm not.
But Jay, why do I need to say that? Why do I need to say that? Let me ask you a question.
Who need to say it?
If I grew, but let me ask you a question. If I grew up and I grew to be 6'10", and in my little neighborhood, in my high school, I was the king man, and then I went on to some college, and I had a nice career, and I happened to get drafted in the NBA, and I signed for $10 billion, and I never had to work on going left. I never had to work on free throws. Look how many players in the modern NBA who have made tremendous amounts of money, who have been considered quote-unquote superstars, who cannot shoot a free throw. We started this program talking about James Harden, who is considered a modern-day superstar, who is considered to be one of the best players that at his position, quote-unquote, of the modern era. And we know that he is so limited that any average coach can stop him in a critical moment. We've all conceded that point, and other players are now conceding this point openly. This is the game we're playing today, that these players are allowed to rise to this level for the brand. Why? Here's why, and I'll close with this. It is because, let's go back to the fundamental beginning of all of this, the brawl, the malice at the palace. changed the engine of the game, changed the passion of the game, and they no longer wanted to be affiliated with that brand of basketball, that backyard street brawling. Look, this ain't just a basketball game, this is life. They wanted to disassociate themselves from that kind of thing, and the league became more about fun and branding and style and get your money and let's get rich and let's get paid and let's run up and down. Look, don't take this serious. This ain't life. And you can go back and research, pull the tape. There are multiple players during the last 10, 15 years that have made statements like, man, basket is just basketball. It's not life. It's just basketball. It's okay. Man, y'all take this too serious. That in the Jordan era, in the Magic Johnson era, in the Bird era, you couldn't say that in the era prior to that when people were literally playing basketball for chips, if you will. And they had daytime jobs, and this is what they did at nighttime, but they did it because they loved it and it grew into something. And when Magic Johnson played, think about the era of Magic Johnson, a $25 million 25-year contract. And everybody thought he himself and everyone else thought he was rich. And the drug dealer of his day in his neighborhood, Freeway Rick, said that guy is poor. But Magic was just so happy to be playing basketball for $25 million for 25 years.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, Freeway.
He just did it for the love of it.
Freeway, Ricky Ross. But you know what, though, Brother Rich? I'm saying it's not even basketball. It's competing. Come on, man. Even in this era, I see siblings, brothers.
But let me ask you, what am I competing for? Let me ask you a question. If I play for the Cleveland Cavaliers right now, if I'm on the Cleveland Cavaliers, if you are a player right now, any one of us on the phone, if we are playing with the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, what are we competing for?
No. I'm not talking about as the whole unit. I'm not talking about the team. I'm saying as a player. As a player, if I'm playing on the Cleveland Cavaliers, what am I competing for tonight? You compete.
Okay, who are we playing? We playing Philly. Oh man, let's go out here. All right.
No. Because we all know that even in this era, pride is still a big deal. So if I'm on the court playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers and Ben Simmons, like everybody's showing this video now with Jaylen Brown dunking on LeBron, you get what I'm trying to tell you? These dudes, they be feeling some type of way. I'm talking about competing against the guy in front of you. I ain't talking about I don't care if it's skins or shirts. I'm saying if the dude.
How many teams do that? That's what I'm asking you. Who's doing that? I'm asking you who's doing that and what are they doing that for? I'm asking you a legitimate question. Tell me if you are playing for that's you now. Because you're speaking for you. I'm asking you, a player on the Cleveland Cavaliers, they are supposed to be playing for pride. But tonight, if they're playing the Philadelphia 76ers, you're saying they're playing for pride. That's you as an individual. So they should play games for pride.
No, I'm saying individually, whatever that player's name is, if Ben Simmons come down and bust your mouth, you got to be like, oh, heck no, I ain't trying to do all of that. You ain't about to do me like that. I'm coming. In other words, I'm saying, if you come at me, I'm coming back at you. That's all. And that's on me. That's on me. But hold on, we got a caller on the line here. Tell us what your name is and where you calling from.
DJ Chu, calling from Cleveland, Ohio, baby.
What up, Julius? What's up, son? What the dealio? Yeah, I'm going.
You got it, Barbershop Jay.
What's up, son? Yes, sir. This is my man, DJ Ju from Funky Fresh Productions. You understand what I'm saying? Up here in the Cleveland, Ohio. Hey, man, the dude is a DJ. But Ju,
right.
Dude, don't tell them nothing about Rock Box. They don't know nothing about that. Oh, and yeah, we might be doing. Yeah, don't tell them nothing, Ju. Hey,
as long as you're not a Cowboy fan, sir, we're overwhelmed with Cowboy paraphernalia on this program.
Oh my gosh.
Say it again.
Jew. We go way back, right? You know what I'm saying? This is
That's
what
right. That's right.
This is what it's called. This is what it's called. This is called jealousy. It ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? They want to sit in the seat, Jew. But I told them all it costs is $29.95, $5.99. $5.99. That's all it costs right here today, baby. Jew, we Jew, we talking on the hoop side of things. This is my man. This me and Jew go way back. We go all the way back since what, 85, Jew? 85, 80, oh, before that. Yeah, way before that. We grew up before that. I'm saying
he had to be 84.
84, yeah.
Come on, they fighting 80, 84, 82.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we go all the way back. But Jew himself is a hooper. You know what I'm saying? Jew played at Woodhill, at Fairfax. And Jew, I was telling the dude at the job the other day, a little sidebar right quick. I don't really do the top 10, top 5, all that kind of stuff. You know, that's what they all into now. You know what I mean? Either he sweet or he ain't sweet. I know my man RB out there listening like, oh, no, he didn't say that. Yeah, I said it. But I said if I had to do a top 5 playground hoop parks that I played at, now I'm about to have a senior moment here because some of them, I played one in Houston. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it was pretty slick too. And I played one in Canada too that was pretty nice. For me, yeah, if I had to do top 5, it's the Rucker, Woodhill, and Fairfax. Now, I ain't never played in Chicago. There was one in Atlanta my cousin Amir took me to. I can't remember the name of that one either. But them is they definitely 3 out of my top if I had to do a top 5. You know what I'm saying? Because it's where, you know, man, I said it a million times. Roy Henson. Would you tell him, Jew, when Roy Henson used to come up to Woodhill when he was with the Cavs?
Remember that? Oh, man. He was punching out.
Yeah.
But he played within the team. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Like, you could tell, like, when times get tough, when they need a bucket, he getting that bucket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Jew, don't take him back, son. Don't you dare take him back, baby. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, man, he get that. He's like, nah, I'm gonna play with y'all, you know, but okay, y'all, okay. Oh man, he about to go off. He calm me back down. He get close to 11 or something. He just game time, get up out of here.
Yeah.
Them games be on point.
On point. Jew, and for the record, would you please tell the people what you used to call me?
West Coast Jay.
No, Brother Rich, you know I'm about to mute you. I'm about to mute you. Can I get some shine, please? Can I get some truthful shine? Anyway, go ahead, Jew. Continue.
West Coast Jay had this. Jay was West Coast all the way. He going 100 miles per hour. Straight, rebound. And pushing it, kicking it. Boom, we get a bucket. I get the ball, give it to Jay off the break. He pushing. I say, damn, he pushing on every bucket. They make a bucket, we miss a bucket. And they miss a bucket, he pushing. Let's go.
Jew, them games at Woodhill was intense. Man, but they don't know. And look, I ain't knocking my Philly cats. I ain't knocking my Chi-Town cats. I definitely ain't knocking my New York cats, Atlanta, Texas, wherever, Cali, wherever y'all do your thing at, because I ain't played everywhere in the country. Colorado, I don't know. Yeah. But I know Cleveland, everywhere we went, you was getting the business. Yeah. So, Jew, let me read back this quote. Yeah. Let me read back what Kobe said, man. I want to get your thoughts on it. Because me and Brother Rich been going back and forth about, even though we watched the Today BA, is what I call it, this new BA, who do the culpability fall on? Who, you know what I'm saying? Where do it lie? Do it lie on the you know, we know coaches ain't what they used to be, the Chuck Daly's and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, Kevin Mackey even when he was at Cleveland State. Yeah, but a lot of people ain't hip to that either. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, and Navy cheated. The Admiral, they cheated. That's why I'm so glad Hakeem bust his mouth for the MVP season. But anyway, the Admiral, save it. Need to do something about them tight shorts he was wearing. Come and get me. But anyway, we talk about whether or not if it fall on the play. Yeah, man, come on, man. You know how I do, baby. Whether it fall on the player or not, man. So here's what Kobe said. Kobe said he feels it's his job to pass on the knowledge that MJ, Jerry West, Olajuwon, and Bill Russell gave to him. But it starts with the player knowing his or her weakness and what makes him or her uncomfortable. He said, you got to know your game. So is it the player that got to know, or is it the coach that's got to know to tell the player? What you say, Jew?
For me, my thought would be the player. You know what I'm saying? You want to, anything you do, you want to get better at. You know what I'm saying? If you can, you know what I'm saying? Or just challenge you. You always can challenge yourself without, you know what I'm saying, no repercussions. Because all it's going to do is, you know, if you going right all the time, and you go left, just trick them up. You know what I'm saying? You can set them up. It's all about how you want to run your game. You know what I'm saying? If I made 85% of the free throw line, let me try to go nice this. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
You don't go hard. You do get it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my man DJ.
You know what I'm saying? That's my thing.
Hey, I say it all the time. And you know, I gotta have my man on here, man. I got a cat, man. My cat Stacy down at the PO where he worked with me at the PO. He him and Big Earl Boykins. You know what I'm saying? He used to be playing in the backyard over there. You know what I'm saying? Because he grew up on Dickens. You know what I'm saying? And he used to be playing in the backyard, and little Earl used to be dribbling the ball around. He's like, "Nah, young fella, you can't play right now." You know what I'm saying? So him and him was hollering. He's like, man, he said, when I still see him to this day, I see Earl. He'd be like, yeah, man, remember y'all wouldn't let me play in the backyard with y'all. But anyway, I know, you know what I'm saying? People poo-poo on Cleveland, man. And I be saying what I say about Cleveland. I just be pointing out the truth about it, though. But real spit, though, man, we had some ballers come through here. We had some ballers, and most notably, and Jew, would you please, for the record, while I got you on here, would you please tell the folk how the shop used to jump, man, when Oak and all of them and Rich and everybody and Broussard and everybody used to come through there?
Oh, man, it was classic. It got real quick, but it was classic because everybody got different point of views, you know what I'm saying? And it woke up certain people, especially people who had the platform on TV, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Look at his point of view, somebody on the streets, like, hey, I ain't think of that.
Thank you.
I never thought. You know what I'm saying? Different ways, you know what I'm saying? We look at it different ways.
Thank you.
Know what I'm saying? Some people look at it cup half full.
Yeah.
Half empty.
Yeah.
You know how the game go.
For sure. And that's just right, how the game go. The number to call if you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, area code 267-687-0026. That number again, area code 267-687-0026. All right, fellas, let's turn our attention to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Got my man DJ Jew with us. Jew, you going to stay through the rest of the show with us?
Yeah, I'm trying to stay down.
It's all to the G.O. It's all to the G.O. We ain't going to keep you long. We not going to keep you long. You know, I want to point out something right quick. We're going to talk about the championship games, AFC, NFC championship games, how they all shook out and make some of our Super Bowl predictions. But right quick, man, I want to just touch base on a story, article I found, man, about Tyrann Mathieu. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Gully, how would you pronounce the Honey Badger's last name? Mathieu?
Matthew.
Oh, it's
Matthew.
Matthew. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Well, thanks for clearing that up. Double J, you still?
You over here? What's up, D?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
What's going on, man? I'm hanging in there, bro. What's up with
you? Yeah. This is all love right here. Double J, you still with us?
here.
All right, man. Don't fall asleep, man. Jump right in, why don't you? You know what I'm saying? You know, get you a pool floater or whatever and jump right on in, man. You know what I'm saying? What happens in Vegas don't need to stay in Vegas. What? Galifianakis. What does Snuffleupagus got to do with this?
My best Zion here, you know.
Oh, really? We putting you to sleep? Is that what that was?
That's right.
What, Gully? Would you... Oh, Brother Richie, you laughing? Brother Richie, you laughing too, huh? That's funny to you too, Brother Rich?
I'm just enjoying the moment, brother.
Okay. Anywho, after the Chiefs beat the Texans in the divisional round of the playoffs, Tyrann Mathieu, a.k.a. the Honey Badger, took some criticism for pulling up on Houston Texans quarterback DeShaun Watson in the fourth quarter, of course, of that 51-31 victory. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because we, again, have discussed on this platform about NFL violence and how the folks who watch the NFL are hypocrites for the most part when it comes to that portion of the game. The violence was a large portion of it, of course, in that it's okay for a guy to be that within the confines or the quote-unquote with the rules of engagement. It's okay to be all of this and all that. But when this guy get outside of that arena and you see him be violent, it's like, oh, my gosh, somebody call 911. So I'm saying to myself, and if we go back to that divisional round, there was a play in particular where DeShaun got out, on the scramble or whatever, and Honey Badger could have lit him up. But he pulled up. And I'm not going to mention the couple of media personalities, national media personalities, like, wow, I never seen nothing like that. I never seen a guy just live up on a guy. Like, in other words, you egging it on. You wished he had her. But here's what my man Mathieu, Honey Badger, had to say about the whole situation when criticized. Because if I'm not mistaken, he was criticized, I guess in the post-game presser. Yeah, on a blitz. Excuse me, it was on a blitz. Honey B had a I don't even know if I like saying that. Anyway, Tyrann Mathieu had a chance. He had a clear shot on Watson, but he, like I said, he decided to pull up. He said the game was over. Yeah, that's my boy, but I'm not fake tough. I don't have to hit you to make me feel like I'm a big beast. This is football, but every act isn't violent. Brother Rich, what say you to that?
I commend it. I really do. Because, again, you said it perfectly. There's hypocrisy in this game. We ask these young men to be violent at practice, to be violent on Sunday, and then just turn off the violence when you walk off the field, and then not understand that there are repercussions to their physical, mental, emotional well-being. There are repercussions on their family lives. There are repercussions in terms of their interaction with the rest and the broader society. And so when you wonder why an NFL player goes into any particular environment and gets himself in a bunch of problems, this is the kind of thing this young man is trying to begin to avoid on the field by understanding, okay, the game is over. I don't need to hit you anymore. I know the game is tough, but every act doesn't have to be like that. So I commend him for, yes, being a human being and showing his humanity in what is otherwise considered a very violent, not concerning, caring, we don't give a skip about you arena.
Yeah, for sure. Double J, what say you about it?
Well, that's just it. I mean, you analyze this, and not only would it have been really unnecessary, but it gives somebody like DeShaun Watson, potentially an injury. It risks that, which otherwise, in that context and in that moment would have been unnecessary. The game was secured. The league itself has already implemented so many rules about even just touching quarterbacks as is. So why risk any ill will on a former teammate of his? You got to remember that also, that he did come from the Texans just a year or two prior. So
right.
The game was fully done and dusted. Don't injure someone just for the sake of doing so, for quote unquote making a football play. As we understand, all athletes are human. At least we understand that on this program, and so that was the right. He used the right judgment.
Jew, what you think, man? Fair or foul? Was it good or not?
I think it was good. That's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, if the game over with, that's your man. Ain't no reason to hurt him or to hit him hard.
Yeah.
And if he gonna go down or submit it, whatever, you know what I'm saying, could take him down without hurting him.
Yeah.
Why not? You know, that's why I feel that way. I did the same thing. You know, if I'm cool with, you know, ain't no animosity, ain't no dirty play or nothing like that, and you ain't, you know, we ain't got no words or you ain't talk about my mama or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I just tackle you, just get you down and let it go. You know, it ain't nothing in it. Especially if it's over with. Even if I do have, even if the person do have words with me, I will back up. Game over with. You talk all you talk. We won. Ain't nothing to say.
Yeah,
let the scoreboard speak for itself.
Yeah, scoreboard. Yeah, right.
I'm all about
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I let the scoreboard speak. Ain't nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
I ain't got to hit you hard. I ain't got to say no words.
Yeah.
You at the house, so I'm moving on.
Yeah, for sure. You know, he also said there was no need to send a message, of course, on a quarterback who was already defeated, especially since, and I thought this was key as well, there could be a fine or major injury, as we just pointed out, involved had I hit him that way. And that's the thing, you know what I mean? Why lose money if you ain't got to, right? And unfortunately, I think we lost Gully here. I'm trying to get him back, so y'all got to bear with me, but we'll keep the thing rolling. Gully, if you're listening still, I don't know what happened. You know, call back if you can. If not, we rolling with 3 the hard way, Double J, Brother Rich, Jew, and, of course, the fourth man bringing up the Rizier Barbershop. Jay, that number to call if you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, area code 267-687-0026. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. All right, we're going to get to the other part of this NFL action, them championship games.
I do want to just interject briefly.
Go ahead, Dr. Kevorkian.
To the Kansas. Well, there is a little bit of breaking news taking place.
Okay, Double J spit.
In the Kansas State game.
Okay. Good looking out on the update, too.
Again, Kansas is one of the, it's ranked and arguably the most complete team in college basketball this season. And when I say punches were thrown, they were thrown and landed by multiple players. So it was a very ugly scene in Lawrence. And as you know, Fog Allen Fieldhouse is not only a classic venue, but that also gives you that feeling of very, you kind of pack like sardines in there. So, potentially fans were injured as well. So this is something to pay very close attention to and moving forward here in the next week's show as well.
Yeah, for sure. Good looking out for the update, Double J. Matter of fact, we might make that your permanent position. You know what I'm saying? Update desk, Double J, what you got to say. Brother Rich, you got to find a spot for you too, man. But you cannot park your mule in the driveway. All right? I don't have no hay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Very much Mathieu.
But you can't laugh at that, huh? Gully just texted me and said that he's having some sort of technical issues, but he's going to try to get back with us if he can. The NFC and AFC Championships. Did the Double J, I'm going to come to you on this one. Did the Titans mess up? And this, I didn't get to see the games. Thank goodness for NFL Network and whatnot. They show large portions of it, but I didn't get to see it live. It's just something different about seeing it all live. You can't get me going out in them stadiums, though. But, yeah, watching it live when it's on the boob tube. Did the Texans – not the Texans, excuse me. The Titans. Did the Titans shoot themselves in the foot against the Chiefs when they were up early by not going to Derrick Henry? And this was brought to my attention by Chuck in the barbershop. I was in the barbershop earlier, and we were kind of discussing what had took place and so on and so forth. He said, man, did you notice they wasn't throwing the Henry out the backfield? And I said, man, well, I didn't get to see it. But even when watching the little replays of it, whatever, I said, I really didn't pick up on that. He said they wasn't throwing the Henry out the backfield. Would that have changed the scope or what's the word I'm looking for here? It starts with a C. Yeah, I'm having a senior moment. But anyway, the complexion. The complexion, in regards to the outcome. Would it have changed had they went to Henry more in the passing game? Because the Chiefs, they started off horribly.
Well, I don't believe it would have ultimately changed the outcome. It may have the final outcome or result, rather, with Kansas City being victorious. However, they could have schemed a little bit better regarding Ryan Tannehill rolling out. A lot of the, as you know, Kansas City decided to load the box, and that was fine. It wasn't preventing Henry from, going from effective to ineffective. He was still doing just about everything he wanted to. Really, the problem was nobody else was able to sustain anything. So I would say, if anything, rather than throwing to him because they were essentially fine Derrick Henry, it would have been utilizing Tannehill a little bit more effectively, or even they had a little bit of success in the one play that they used Marcus Mariota. They should have really started, knowing that the run was where the Chiefs are vulnerable, started kind of pulling some pages out of Baltimore's playbook. And I think that would have really changed, that could have changed the outcome, because it would have severely made Kansas City off balance. But offensively, again, the Chiefs were on fire. If you gave them 30 seconds, that was too much time. So, the only way you were going to win that game was to outscore them and to keep them off the field at that with long drives. And they were able to do that in the first quarter, but it wasn't sustainable. They didn't mix it up enough.
Yeah, that's a good point. Brother Rich, I mean, at the end of the day, do you think the Titans should have won that game? All things considered?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, because in all that you all considered in terms of football strategy, none of that accounts for what ultimately made the ultimate difference in this game, and that's Patrick Mahomes. And this is what we talked about at the beginning of all this. Pull the tape, check the tape. We talked about the fact that Patrick Mahomes is one of these guys, he's one of these quarterbacks that ultimately he himself is a game changer, much like the other game changers that we watched throughout the playoffs. And this comes down to game changer. He ultimately, not Derrick Henry, because he has the ball, and Derrick Henry could not and would not have the kind of quarterback backing him up, the kind of running back he is. He needs a better quarterback to support him and sustain him. Ryan Tannehill is a supportive quarterback. He's decent, but he's not the kind of quarterback to sustain and support the kind of running back that Derrick Henry is.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, Mahomes has so many weapons that he himself, being the kind of quarterback he is, he himself becomes a package in and of himself. So this was ultimately going to be the game changer. And this is what everybody's looking forward, going forward with him, is what will this young man himself present that becomes something that we have, again, never seen before.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. All day, every day. Jew, what say you, though, man? Did the Titans drop the ball, or is just Kansas City is just about as explosive as what the Rams team was some years ago with Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, and my man Marshall Faulk? Or could you even consider?
Well, I ain't gonna say they dropped the ball.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't say they dropped the ball. I just go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
The scheme, KC scheme. No. I mean the Titan scheme. They figured them out. They started moving, shifting the receivers, and going in motion. They start breaking them down. And once they figured them out, you can't stop them.
Yeah.
They start putting them linebackers on the BB, or they were single coverage and heel. They doubled, and then if they what's the guy from Clemson? Sammy Watkins, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's 1-on-1. They started taking their chance. I mean, it was like pick your poison. You was double him.
Yeah.
Double these two. Okay, we gonna send my man deep, and he was getting out the pocket. But like, the other guy said, I don't even know his name.
Double J.
JJ?
Double J, yeah.
Double J.
Yeah.
Double J, my bad. Double J said, if they would have rolled Tannehill out, they'd have bypassed more time. I think they would have kept the score, but Kansas City really start rolling, once they start rolling, it ain't nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
That'd be a shootout.
Yeah, it's all down here from there, ain't it? You know what I mean? It's all down here.
Yeah. Figure them out.
Yeah.
When they crack that code, it was a wrap, you know.
Yeah. Mahomes is
like the Tannehill rolling out in his last time been good.
Mahomes is special though. I mean, dude just got it, man. I mean, Drew, you seen him at Texas Tech. Could you even fathom that he was going to be what he is now? Or is it him and it's a combination of what is like Andy Reid was like, I've been waiting on this kind of guy forever and a day.
Like you just said, I mean, it's him. He all that. I ain't seen at Texas Tech. But the steam and what he can do.
It's a match made in heaven, ain't it?
It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's my man Andy Reid. It's hard. I'm like Andy Reid, like supposed to won one already. But sure, you know what I'm saying? It's your best chance. He should have won one before at Philly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true too.
It's exciting, though. It's exciting.
But it seemed like every chance that Andy Reid done had, you know, when he get to where he go, it's just who he go up against, man. It's just an uphill thing. You know, that one time it was Tampa Bay that knocked him out. You know what I'm saying? Rondé Barber that got the interception at the end? Yeah, you know, that Tampa Bay squad was loaded on the defensive side. My gosh. Even the defensive coordinator had on a jersey. He's like, I'm subbing in, coach. He's like, who gonna call the formations? I don't know. Get your brother to do it. I'm going out there. You know what I'm saying? That whole Tampa Bay squad was loaded. Yeah. So we're gonna go around the room right quick, so to speak, and we're gonna get some Super Bowl predictions, and then we're gonna discuss who we think might do what. So you know, when you give your prediction, we're gonna break down. When you give your prediction, you know, say why, of course, you think, or whoever you pick will win, or why they won't win, or whatever the case may be. Double J, we're gonna start with you. Who you got taking home the Lombardi in 54? Not Club 54. I seen you up there. I seen the videos. You was up at Club 54. You need to cut that out, Double J. You got to cut that out now. You know what I'm saying? Brother Richard, you ain't had no business showing him around New York like that either. You know what I mean? You can't let that man just loose in the streets of New York. This Double J we talking about. Yippee-ki-yay. You know what I'm saying? You can't drop him off in the middle of Manhattan, man. You know he tear the place up. Yeah, what you say, Double J?
Our host must have been watching TNT last night when it was Studio 54 there.
Yeah.
And
I wasn't actually, but go ahead. I'm just hip to it.
I believe it was Grant Hill that was calling one of the games. That was who fumbled that one, just like our host did. Our, flip flop.
Thank you.
Shop. But
thank you.
I'm taking the 49ers. I'm actually going against the public here. I love Mahomes. He mastered Andy Reid's offense, I would say better than any quarterback that Andy Reid has had in his career, which, again, look at that laundry list of incredible quarterbacks, including the likes of Donovan McNabb. However, again, defense is what wins championships here. And when you look at that front four of what San Francisco has, starting with Bosa, and you look at, we've been talking about Robert Saleh's ability to coach defensively for the 49ers. And then we talked about Kansas City's weakness, which was defending the run. And you just had my Purdue alum, Raheem Mostert, nearly break Dickerson's playoff game record. He was 20 yards away from breaking his record, which is unbelievable. I didn't think that would ever happen again, or anybody would even get a sniff of that. And
he balled out.
That Jimmy Garoppolo didn't. This is the difference here. Unlike the Titans, where you had Tannehill throw for 89 to 156 yards, that was because they relied 100% on the run. Garoppolo has weapons. They relied on really throwing more than rushing throughout the regular season. So they're a very balanced offensive team. And again, the edge to me goes to the defense, and I believe that it'll come down to players, which is great. This is finally, it's not going to come down to schematics. I know I mentioned Robert Saleh, but can San Francisco, can Richard Sherman shut down Tyreek Hill? And the great linebackers like Mosley slow down Travis Kelce, and guys like Nick Bosa get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. This is going to be an incredible game, but I believe that the Yay area is who comes out on top.
Yeah, the Yay area. That's interesting. Brother Rich, who you got, man? And tell us why.
Well, we started with Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid's time in the sun being here, and we're going to end with that and say that's where we're going with this. And I totally agree with everything that WJ said about San Francisco and who and what they are. And if you pull the tape, we said that exact much of that, and along with that, agree with him again in terms of their ability to be where they are today. Nevertheless, we believe in Kansas City's ability to finish what they started and prove once and for all that Patrick Mahomes is something we've never seen before. And this is what I think he will show us, and we believe he will show us this time around, that we've never seen anything like this. So, yes, they're ready, but they've never seen. San Francisco, Bosa, and them, they've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, they do. They got Kansas City. They got a ton of weapons. But good, Drew, I'm gonna let you go ahead and take your pick. Then I'll make mine. So go ahead. Who you got, Drew?
Okay. Yeah, let me think, man. It's gonna be a toss up for me because to me,
it's a
like
pick 'em.
Double J said with the D. You know what I'm saying? Defense win championship, and like Brother Rich said, with Mahomes being a special talent, that it factor. So I just want to watch a good Super Bowl. I don't know who's gonna win. Defense usually wins.
Yeah.
But Mahomes, he got that it factor. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
They get into it real quick, real early. It's gonna be to me, it's a toss up.
Yeah, it's all good. A lot of people are calling it pick 'em. Double J, let me come back to you right quick. You pretty much, got the 1-2 on what the line is, the Vegas line is, so to speak. Now, are we still too early out, if you would? What's the line right now?
Here's what's incredible about this particular game and this specific matchup. The Vegas line opened as a pick-em. There was no favorite.
I'm not surprised.
Additionally, since then, within 2 days, the one consensus was that the over was bet on. There were bookmakers in Vegas that have stated 2 days have gone by. We have not written a single ticket on somebody taking the under yet. And it's gone up from 51.5 to 54 points. So I'm now staying away from it. I got in early at 51, and I'm staying there. I'm not going to throw anything until somebody else starts betting this thing down. But as far as the teams themselves, the early money came in on Kansas City. They jumped up to as high as a 1.5-point favorite. But then it has now been bet down to a 1-point favorite. A $55,000 bet came in earlier this afternoon at Caesars for the 49ers.
Somebody got some background noise, please, if you would. You could kind of, yeah, there you go. I appreciate you. But you know what, though? Let me ask you this. So do you think, based on your expertise and knowing this stuff, as we get closer to the actual day, of course, of the Super Bowl, will that number increase, or will you think this could be one of them Super Bowls where that line just kind of like stays right there around that 1.5, maybe 2, 2.5, somewhere around there, no more than 3 as we get closer to Super Bowl Sunday?
I think it may actually come down. I think by the time this settles, it may come down to a 0.5 point and end up at a pick 'em again. And then depending on, who, it's only a matter of time before somebody starts putting a $250 million on this game. So
wow, you think he could get
let
there?
That sink in. Yeah.
Did you say $250 million?
Billion.
Yeah, with a B.
Gee, my knees.
Why would they do that? What would motivate someone to do that?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Now
you got to remember, for the most part, with these guys, that it comes down to confidence. They have everything from algorithms to analysts and experts that have their ear, and they know that they, again, it's coming down to the sports books. There's two props out there. The first of which is Floyd Mayweather going to bet on this game, and again, the cynical part of me says the only way we'll actually know that is if he wins, because he's not going to post anything saying, "Hey, he put money on this particular team,"
right,
unless it was after the fact.
All right.
So, additionally, there's another thing: will the books themselves allow a bet of that size? So again, it's not outside of the realm of possibility. And that means, yes, you and I can put $5 that, yes, we believe they'll not only that is somebody willing to do it, but that Vegas themselves will allow them to put that type of money on the line here, because that's a line shifter. The minute that comes in, regardless of which side it's for. But again, just right now, whomever would do that would assume that, hey, it's going to be a very close game, but I believe that the winner is going to win by, again, greater than a point.
Interesting. Well, before I make my prediction or my pick and so on and so forth, I was going to, because my man RB out there, RB, I know you listening. He a Packer fan. He believe Aaron Rodgers is the system. I wasn't going to try to really go hard on the NFC Championship side of things, San Fran and Green Bay Slackers. Green Bay Packers. But right quick, fellas, Jew, in your estimation, what in the world happened to Aaron Rodgers? I tell you one thing, and I will say this. Aaron Rodgers might need to think, he might want to give some thought to switching from State Farm to Allstate, man, so he can be protected from mayhem called the San Francisco 49ers. I'm telling you that right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, because it was bad. Yeah, it was Miami Hurricanes, Ohio State, that flag that came late bad. You understand what I'm saying? No offensifieds, you know what I'm saying, to y'all. But anyway, what happened to Aaron Rodgers against the 49ers? Jew, right quick, man. What you think happened, man?
Okay. The front four, if you can rush with the front four, you can neutralize any quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who they is. You ain't got no time to throw it.
Thank you.
Right. They figured it out a little bit later on, but, it was already too late.
Yeah.
But all that front four, they got a motor. Them guys, it's gonna be hard. You got a front four. That's key.
I'm trying to tell you, it's
front
in
four. You gotta have dogs.
It's in them trenches, and you can't always say that. That there's always been some teams that had some dogs at that front four. You know what I mean? There's been a few teams that get there, with a player or two. Well, I don't know, man, because I'm when I say that, I'm thinking about them Giants with Lawrence Taylor on there, but I couldn't even. Leonard Marshall, Jim Burt, I remember them two guys. Oh, Harry Carson and Pepper Johnson was the linebackers, though. But Lawrence Taylor was such a disruptive force that man, listen. Yeah. And the 49ers back then was, Joe, Earl Cooper. I'm talking about before. Rice was there early, but I'm talking about before Rice, Freddie Solomon, and all of them type of dudes. Man, the 49ers.
Yeah.
They could have played the Giants, and the Giants could have played with just Lawrence Taylor on defense, and the 49ers probably still would have lost. That's what kind of dude he was. Double J, man, what happened? What happened to Aaron Rodgers in the system?
Well, that's just it. There wasn't, much of a system. They got down early. They had the opportunity.
27 to nothing is
set
not
the tone
getting
of the
down
game.
early. You being nice.
Well, absolutely. Again, we knew we were going to criticize these guys. Everything from Matt LaFleur's decision to have them indoors during the week and not in pads. Additionally, on the other side of the field, San Francisco was outdoors in the rain going, trying to kill each other. So you could point at that and say, hey, they just simply weren't prepared. Aaron Rodgers is on record after the thrashing they took the first time around saying, hey, if we see him again, we're going to be ready. I don't believe anything had changed.
You know what?
So,
I wasn't going to say that part, but I'm glad you did. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, it needs to be said. You look at the team, he's optimistic they'll be able to come back again. I'm not seeing it. You're not going to get a better receiver than Devontae Adams to join him. And rushing-wise, Aaron Jones had success. I don't know what more they could have done. I think it was simply they weren't, they were in the minor leagues playing a major league club.
Oh, ouch. That kind of stings a little bit. But you know what, though? Yeah, that was, you know what, Double J? I need a 20. You know what I'm saying? Personal foul on number 22, roughing all the passers. First down.
What was frustrating to me is that the refs cheated so much for Green Bay throughout the season that you thought that we would have seen a closer game.
Yeah, I did too. I did too. I thought we would have saw a closer game.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that whole cheating thing is, but you got to admit, though, going into the whole thing, the whole storyline about, this could the NFL 100 years and, the Chiefs and the Packers, the rematch of Super Bowl I. A lot of this stuff to be playing out the way it play out, man, is because of the storylines that they see that could be created off of it. Let's be real. You feel what I mean? That's why I say nothing happenstance, not to me. None of these sporting events are completely left up to chance. But I guess they said, you know what, we got to throw all the conspiracy theories a nugget every now and again, you know what I'm saying, or a curve, if you would. And as a result, it's the 49ers and the Chiefs, you know what I mean, and not, Mr. Rogers, State Farm, All-State, Aflac, discount double check, and in the Super Bowl. And I'm just, I just, Aaron Rodgers is he nice, man. You know what I mean? He is. He nice. I give him his credit or whatnot. But, all this, and Brother Rich, I told you this when we first met in the shop, all of this anointment, man, this premature anointment of what this is, and I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers was good at Cal. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? He sat behind Brett Favre, so on and so forth. And both of them guys was good in their own right. But just let a guy be a guy. Let him have in his cupboard what the guys we saying it ain't what they got. You know what I mean? Let him get that, and then we can say, okay, you got 10 cans of beans, I got 10 cans of beans. Okay, now let's debate. But you can't have one can of beans, I got 10. You talking about, oh, he better than me because you got 10. No, because when you eat your can of beans, I can eat my one, you eat your one, I'm still going to have 9 more. Anywho, I'm just saying, for the sake of, I'm just saying. But at the end of the day, the Packers do need another receiver, Double J. And then they didn't really throw to the tight end much. Who was the tight end for them this year? I didn't even know who the tight end was. Do you know?
Jimmy Graham.
Oh, my boy. You're talking about Miami Hurricane Jimmy Graham?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's interesting. I honestly didn't. That's sad. You got you'd think that Jimmy Graham and Aaron Rodgers should have been able to hook up enough times. I would have remembered that they didn't hooked up at least once or twice. That's not good. But they do need another receiver. Sort of kind of, if you go back to the Favre early on with Favre. Well, even with Rodgers when they won against Pittsburgh, they had Greg Jennings. Donald Driver was kind of on his way out. Greg Jennings was the younger of the two, if I'm not mistaken. But Donald Driver was still solid. You need a solid number 2, though. You know what I mean? You go all the way back to the Cowboys with Irvin and Alvin Harper, Rice, Taylor, Duper, Clayton. And folks probably gonna be mad. Folks, what? Wow, what? What's the wow?
Who else was on the team?
Huh? What'd you say?
So who else was on the team?
On what
You seem
team?
to know that one really, really well, huh, Brother Rich?
He knows them verbatim, like homework.
You know what? I keep walking right into this. You all are not. You all are not going. Ha ha. You don't laugh at these two. Don't laugh at thing one and thing two. Don't do it. You don't do that, man. Because you don't understand. You giving them ammunition, man. You know what I mean? I got to deal with this when you ain't on the pre-program. Yeah, but anyway. Anyway, man, I'm gonna make my prediction.
Jay, he's laughing because all the listeners know the truth about this. Everybody knows you're a cowboy. You should just come straight out and admit it to the people, because people want you to just come out and say it, sir. Be proud of yourself.
I will not ever admit to anything that is not true.
One caller that talked to him that before the show started, he called in, and I couldn't believe. I mean, I'm telling you. These two, there's no way they'd met before, but it was like a cowboy, alumni reunion.
Oh, Double J, you really go? Jude, wait till
Closet fan, you're a closet fan from Papa
Jude, don't tell me you getting in on this. You gonna get in on this too? How you gonna play your boy?
No,
it's your boy.
I'm just here and I'm speaking up on it. That's all.
Jude, I promise you, next time you're on the show, it's gonna be two new co-hosts, Bobby Jackson and Davy Johnson. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Calling from Sarasota, Florida. You know what I'm saying? Hello, this is Bobby Johnson. Yeah. We're bringing you breaking news. Yeah, that's what, you know what I mean? I'm getting rid of these two. I got to, man. You know what I mean? Let them ride off in the sunset at the 0-16 parade. And they got the nerve to be saying anything about me, about whoever it is I like or don't like, and they Browns fans. Would you tell them? And they act like they've been Browns fans as long as we've been living here. You know what I'm saying? They be like, yeah, go Brownies. I'm like, you don't even know Kosar. Stop it, son. You know what I'm saying? Back up off me, son. Back up off me. I'm Dragonfly Jones. You know what I'm saying? Young punk. Anyway, I'll tell you this, though, right quick before I make my prediction. How crucial was that tackle for the 49ers linebacker on that Seattle receiver that changed the scope of the playoff positioning? Double J, you think that's the play of the year? Who was the linebacker? Was it Kewan Alexander?
That's right. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was Kewan Alexander. You think he got a couple extra dollars in his Salvation Army in his Salvation Army bucket for that? I had to throw that in there. Did you think?
If anybody would know, it would have been you.
Oh boy,
right?
Here we go.
I saw you, we saw you poking your head out of there during the game.
Oh, so that's funny, Brother Richard. That's funny. Okay. Oh, I get it. All right, here we go. Cat in the hat. Go ahead, finish, Double J. Oh, and before you finish, though, I just want to...
certainly if it were a Greg Williams coach team, he would have. But I do believe, it was that play solidified something that was much needed, which was home field advantage for them. The team itself is great, but as you saw, all you got to do is look, at Baltimore or even New England as to what can happen in New Orleans. There's multiple cases just in this particular postseason of why that positioning is so critical.
Yeah, that's for sure, especially in football. But I will say this. I'm rolling with Vegas on this one, and I'm not a gambler, not a bettor, but I'm rolling with them on the pick 'em. This is a pick 'em for me, and here's why it's a pick 'em for me. Football, regardless of the level, and you played high school football. My man Chuck at the shop played football. It started in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line. No disrespect to Mahomes, because he is as good as advertised. His weapons, Kelsey, right here from Northeast Ohio, good as advertised. We already know Watkins, Tyreek Hill. Good as, I mean, he got weapons. But there are cases on record where a team that was supposed to blow the doors off the other team going in, the end result didn't end up that way. Case in point, them Rams, the greatest show on turf, was blowing through the league that year in points per game. How many points a game did they score total that year, Double J, off the top of your head? Was it 600, 550, somewhere crazy like that?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
It was insane.
In that realm, you look at the number of
Insane. And what happened in that Super Bowl? If the Rams averaged 35 points a game that entire season, even leading up to that Super Bowl, no way in the world they should have came up out of there with 14 points. No way in the world. If it is what it is. This ain't no knock on KC. This ain't a knock. I'm just saying, can't be so quick to dismiss what a front four can do, as my man Jew pointed out. If I can get to you with just my four, and when I say my four, I'm talking about my four, that allows me to do so many other things on the back end. So many other things. And more recently, the Giants and that vaunted Patriots offense that they went up against, especially that year with Randy Moss, who, by the way, he set the NFL single-season record for most touchdowns in the season, passing none other than J. Rice, 22. He had in 23, Moss did. And undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. And who was the front four that the Giants was bringing pressure with on that? Was Strahan a part of that 11, or was it just that 7? Either way, with Canty, Jason Pierre-Paul, Cofield.
Strahan.
Yeah, that's why I said Strahan. I don't know. Was Strahan on the 2011 squad, or was he on the 2007 squad? I can't remember.
Both of them.
Oh, he's on both of them? Okay, my bad.
He was on both.
Okay, there it is. I'm just saying, man. A front four, and you go back and look at through the annals of the NFL history, all the way back to the Ram, Deacon Jones and Merlin Olsen and all them dudes. Man, when you when you got a front four, man, if you don't have a front four, you got to have a Charles Haley and a Deion Sanders. And then you get away with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Merton Hanks was pretty good too, actually. But when you got that front four, man, so I'm thinking it's going to be the 49ers. To me, the matchup, the contest ain't the 49ers and the Chiefs. It's Patrick Mahomes and the 49ers front four. That's what this is. That's what Super Bowl 54 going to be about. That's what it come down to me. You know what I'm saying? And would I like to see Andy Reid finally get off the schneid? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I wouldn't mind seeing Richard Sherman get another one either, especially after this Twitter beef with him and Darrelle Revis. Darrelle need to go sit down somewhere. He need to go sit down somewhere, man. I mean, to come out of nowhere with that whole deal about, you ain't never covered nobody. Man, I'm trying to win. I mean, you got. And I ain't knocking Darrelle for his, you know what I'm saying, his individual, you know what I mean? But I seen Moss toast him on more than one occasion. Well, Moss did that to everybody. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm just saying, you sound jealous, man. Go sit down somewhere. You know what I mean? And like Richard Sherman said, man, I'm not about to go back and forth with you on this, really, even though he kind of did. But still, he's like, man, I got a Super Bowl to prepare for. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why you come out there and, what was the point? Oh, you don't never cover nobody. Well, who are you covering? Yeah. You talking about that cover you got laying on the couch? Cover yourself up then. Get you some hot cocoa, son. It's chilly where you at, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So for me,
they have some words. Somebody said they had some words last year, though.
Well, I mean,
you started from like last year or something. You know what I'm saying? But it was bad. It's bad timing, though.
Yeah, that's.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
If you gonna say something, y'all been saying something. You can't say it right now, dude. I'm about to go Super Bowl, man. Chance of a lifetime.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man. Again, but I already went through a couple of times.
Right.
So one, lost one.
Right.
About to go to my third one. Come on, man.
Right.
I ain't trying to get that,
Right.
Off season. Yeah, holla at me.
Thank you.
If you win, yeah.
Thank you.
Any of them,
Then you get it. Thank you. And no, I mean, and let's make no mistake about it. I wouldn't say Richard Sherman is no lockdown corner. I mean, hey, okay, it is what it is. But he plays position. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He plays position. He do what he need to do within the framework of that defense. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He do what he need to do within the framework of that defense, and it works. Like Jude said, man, the timing of it all, the real Revis. You sound bitter. Go sit down. You know what I mean? If I go get my man Darryl Green, you know what I mean? Yeah, I seen Darryl Green chase him down, baby. I'm telling you, Darryl Green was one of my favorites. I know this ain't got nothing to do about Darryl Green. We got a caller on the line. Caller, tell us what your name is and where you calling Fee Rum. I think I know who this is. Let me holler at you, boy. Holla.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's J. Ron from Canton, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's the Doc. What's up, Doc?
What's up, player? How about that GOAT, Aaron Rodgers, dog?
Yeah. Right now he chewing on some hay. But I want you to get at Double J, man. Double J been clowning you. He was clowning you, man. He was clowning you. Yeah.
Double J being real disrespectful.
Yeah, he being real disrespectful.
Don't fight. No. Don't see what he tries to do here.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Hey,
my bad, Doc.
All about his Cowboys. I mean, he listed like the 93-94 roster. Literally, everyone to the water boy.
That sound like hate.
And who was,
Sound like hate. Sound like hate. Don't be mad at me because my knowledge when I ain't having a senior moment is extensive. I go all the way back to 1978 with this, baby, in the blizzard of 78. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Carry on. What was you saying, Double J? You was talking hyperbole. Go ahead. What was you saying?
I was just, letting Doc know, filling him in about how you were mentioning these great wide receiver duos, and you started listing, I think it was Irvin and Harper, and then all of a sudden,
did I say?
Before we knew it, you were at Moose Johnson and Jason Garrett being.
Hold on, what about Rice and Young?
Doc, don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. I was mentioning wide receiver tandems. We were talking about Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, and all of that. Double J and Brother Rich always seem to find a way to slide up in with Jerry Jones. Not Brother Rich, Richard Jones. Excuse me, my bad. I correct myself. They find a way to slide up in with their little snide remarks and little comments. Oh, and by the way, did I mention Al Toon and Wesley Walker? Did I mention them? See what I mean? They don't mention the other guys I mentioned. They seem to be focused on this whole Jerry Jones thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, they taking up two.
They love them. They love them Cowboys. They love them Cowboys.
That's what I'm saying.
Man.
That's what I'm saying, man. Meanwhile, they taking up two spots in the parking lot with them rented mules that got tied to the light pole. Man, Peter is on the way.
Yeah, man.
Peter is on the way. What we were asking, though, Doc, now that we got you here, we was talking about the 49ers. We was making our Super Bowl prediction. We was talking about the 49ers, of course, and the Kansas City Chiefs. I said,
yeah.
To me, I think it's a pick 'em. And it's a pick 'em because that 49ers front four versus Pat Mahomes. That's what Super Bowl 54 is to me. But give us your thoughts and your prediction, too, if you can.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. It is that front line versus Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you got Richard Sherman, of course, but how much work is he going to actually be able to put in? He ain't faster than Tyreek Hill. All you got to do is send Tyreek Hill on a streak and throw it up.
Yeah, that's true, too. That's true, too.
That's really it. Then it's like, okay, you stop the run, but you stop the pass. How you going to stop the run? Don't forget Patrick Mahomes is a pretty good mobile quarterback. I mean, yeah, you might shut down the raw receivers. What you going to do about the quarterback in them legs? Nothing. You double team Joey Bosa. Who gonna pick up the sack? Nobody.
You know what though? That knee injury that Mahomes suffered. You don't think that still might be affecting him somewhat, or it didn't really look like it to you? Because I didn't get to see the games, in their entirety or whatever. I had to catch it some stuff later on.
I
on the
watched
NFL
it. It
Network.
didn't look like the knee was bothering him too much. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is healthy enough to run around all game.
Mm-hmm.
But if he don't have no passes, he can throw downfield. He healthy enough to where he can get you that first down if he needs to. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout game, but it will be close with the Kansas City Chiefs taking the lead. I give it 24-27, Chiefs taking it all. That's how close I see it being.
Yeah, and a lot of people kind of lightweight poo-pooing on this Super Bowl, man. I guess because they wanted it to be, the headlines to be all about 100 years and Super Bowl one, and said no, ain't nobody said nothing about the Cowboys, Brother Rich. Keep it up here, keep it up. You got one more again. You got one more again. I'm trying to tell you, got one more again, boy. I tell you. Woo, Claude, have mercy.
Ain't nobody gonna say nothing about them Cowboys till they make it to the playoffs.
Really, Doc? Really? And you just gonna add to the madness, right? Okay, all right. I'm letting y'all know right now. I'm putting an ad in the classified for all 5 of y'all being replaced, including the host.
I'm just saying they need to do a lot of rebuilding. The Cowboys aren't a bad team. You got to give them some kind of props. They're not bad, but they're not good enough to get anywhere.
You don't understand what's the dynamic between Brother Richard, Double J, and myself. This has been ongoing, Doc, before you even got on here. I'm telling you, man, they do not pass up an opportunity to get at me. But it's cool, see? I ain't mad. But I say this, too, about the Chiefs.
When you bleed cowboy blue and silver, that's all you're going to talk about, baby.
Okay, wait a minute. Doc, whose side you on, man?
And don't let me.
I'm on your side. I'm just saying, they're the number one Cowboy fan, so of course they're going to be all about them Cowboys.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah, Double J, sound like you was getting ready to say something smart again. What you got to say?
Well, I was just going to enlighten Doc that you got to remember that our host here has gone on record to say that the NFC East is the toughest division in football. So he's always.
Oh my gosh!
Cowboys
he did say that.
I did not say.
No, come on,
Doc,
Jay. Come
Doc,
on, Jay.
Doc,
I know you did, man.
Doc,
I know you did.
Doc. Oh, Double J, that's funny. You know what? Yeah, I'm canceling the show. Ain't gonna be no more shows for another month.
Say, you almost got Jay unfriended on Facebook, man. Come on, dog.
Doc, I asked the question. As a moderator or a show host, I have to come up with information to get things jumping, right? I asked the question.
Right.
Was the NFC East the toughest division in football? I just asked the question. Then these two jokers got on them rented mules and rode off into the sunset. Took them 3 days, you know what I'm saying? But they rode off into the sunset, and that's the story. That's how the thing took life. But guess what, though? Again, they Browns fans. So why they talking about anybody?
Well, I mean, I'm a Lions fan, so I can't say too much either.
Really? You should. I'm a Matt Stafford fan, though.
Notice, Doc, how he didn't say we are Browns fans. He keeps saying they're Browns fans.
Yeah, because y'all.
He's a Cowboy fan.
No, I'm not a Cowboy fan.
No, he never said that.
No,
he said they're Browns fans. Yeah, we know we're Browns fans, but we also know. We just want you to come out and say you're a Cowboys fan. We understand.
So what she's saying is he got a Tony Romo jersey hanging up in his living room.
Oh, don't be disrespectful.
His son got one. His wife got one. His baby got one. His dog got one. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh no! This is just preposterous.
Doc, don't believe the hype.
Classic flip-flop barbershop. That's all.
Don't believe the hype.
I got your back, Jay. I know you ain't like that. I got your back, Jay. I know you ain't like that. Go ahead and support your Browns, dog. Support them Browns.
And listen, and Jew can tell you this. Jew, Brother Richard and Double J just became Browns fans yesterday. But they talk like they've been Browns fans ever since Jim Brown broke the rushing record in 1964. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But I ask them who Herman Fontenot is, and they be like, check the tape. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, yeah, that's what I thought. Y'all need a 20. Yeah, you need a 20-second timeout, baby. You talk over some strategy. Can't deal with me. All I'm saying to you is the reason why I call y'all Browns fans is because those of us who were born and brought up on it, who've seen the Browns at some of their best moments and have seen the Browns at their continued worst moments, we just all about wait and see. You know what I mean? Y'all are like the kids at the carnival. Y'all want cotton candy. I want cotton candy. No, Johnny, you shoot your eye out. You know, that type of stuff. I want one anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I told you, no, we're going back to the car. You know, that kind of stuff, Jew. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, let them be Browns fans. They'll see. That's all I keep trying to tell them. They'll see. You know what I mean? They had all their paraphernalia on. They Mitchell and Nest out and was on their way to the parade at 0-16. Go Browns! Okay. You can go out there if you want to. It was kind of chilly that day.
That sounds like Double J on his way down there.
I know. I'm trying to tell you. Talking about double down. Okay. What happened in Vegas shouldn't have stayed in Vegas. But right quick, before we get to our last subject of the day, or topic of the day, if you would, I think the X factor, believe it or not, I'm going on record for saying this right now, for Kansas City, could be, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, not Tyreek Hill, not so, because we know what those guys are going to bring to the table, right? Those are the obvious. Or let me just say, the guy who's the not so obvious that could really be the difference maker, being the not so obvious guy, or sort of like the Mr. Irrelevant, is the wide receiver Hardeman. Am I saying his name right? Number 17, I believe, is his number for Kansas City.
I think so. I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, I think is he a rookie or in his second year? Double J, help me out.
Rookie.
He a rookie, Jew?
He a rookie.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not
From
17.
Georgia. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel Sanders wears number 17, right? Oh, it's Debo Samuels. Is that what I'm thinking? Yeah. No. Oh,
Debo Samuels.
Yes, Debo Sam. No, not Debo. Who is the wide receiver for Kansas City? The guy for Kansas City, man.
Yeah. Got his name. Hardeman.
Didn't I say
Hardeman?
Yeah, Hardeman. Did I say Hardeman? Did I say Hardeman? Yeah, well, Hardeman or whatever. That guy he's something special. He's something special. He is something special. I don't know, man. I'd keep my eye on him. I don't know if you, for all you out,
but you got an awesome matchup in tight ends too. You got Kittle on one side, Kelsey on the other.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though.
Don't forget about them now. Kelsey might add to that X factor because he's been quiet too. But Kelsey, he'll bust up for 100 yards and a touchdown or two if you let him.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, I mean, Kelsey. Like that's why I was saying. You know, the Chiefs have their obvious people. You know what I mean? We know about the obvious. Who's the guy who's not so obvious that could, when it's all said and done, be like what's the guy for Washington that one year when Doug Williams in that Super Bowl? Timmy Smith. You get what I'm driving at here? That one guy you'd be that you'd be like, man, who saw that coming? And if I'm not mistaken, during that Super Bowl, they said they told him right before the game that he was starting. Imagine that. And, you know what I mean? So, we know what Tyreek Hill going to bring to the table. We know Mahomes going to bring to the table or should bring to the table. All them other guys we named. But, man, that Hardman or whatever his name is, I still can't pronounce it correctly. Background noise. I got background noise, fellas. I appreciate you. That one guy, man, he could be the difference maker. You know what I mean? Mess around and be the doggone MVP. That's how the NFL work, right? So, man, I'm looking forward to seeing it. You know, I think it's going to be a better Super Bowl than most folks are giving it credit for. I think, again, a lot of folks is kind of hurt over the fact that it ain't the Packers on the other side. But I think we got a good one. You know, one that might be a better one. I mean, when is the last time we really had – well, the Philly New England was pretty good, the Philly special. Yeah, I won't take nothing away from them on that. The Philly special was pretty good. But I think this got the makings of being a real good one. You know what I mean? So get your DVRs ready and, sit back. And for all of y'all who go into the game, have fun. For all of y'all who not, like myself, you know what I mean, get you a pair of good bunny slippers. You know what I mean? Crack your favorite drink. You know what I mean? Mine's is Powerade. Even though I don't do push-ups no more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I drink muscle milk, son.
My thing is, I don't know why people expected the Packers to make it. I mean, you got a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers who couldn't make the Super Bowl in his MVP season. What made y'all think he's going to make it this year?
Ooh, we out. Doc, you. So, Doc, you.
Yeah, I'm talking smack. I
I'm about to say.
I was going to come back talking that smack when they didn't make it. I'm here, baby.
Yes, you talking. Oh, my goodness. You starting stuff. We got to get on up out of that one. Doc, you can't be on here starting stuff. If you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, the number to call is area code 267-687-0026. That number again, area code 267-687-0026. All right, fellas. We all have played sports. Basketball is our topic we'd love to discuss for various reasons. So we got one more here to close out the program for you. And this was one I had meant to get to a couple shows ago, but I kind of put it on the shelf, knowing I was going to have to come back to it because I think it's very, very, very pertinent to our ongoing discussion, not necessarily of the Today BA, but just basketball in general, especially in college basketball now. I mean, if rankings are what rankings are supposed to be, nobody can seem to stay in the top 5 long enough to be top 5. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know who in the top 5 no more. And Double J, you just pointed out the whole Kansas State thing. Any update on that right quick?
Well, they're talking about it quite a bit, and I've seen the video about 4 or 5 times now. Dick Vidal's currently explaining his displeasure about it. In short, what happened, the game was well out of hand. It was the 20-point victory in favor of Kansas. They were draining the clock, that being Kansas, and a Kansas State player came and stole the ball. Again, we're talking 6 seconds or less, drove the length, the length of the floor, went to go and dunk it, and it was blocked. So somebody kind of, Tayshaun Prince, that guy trying to make some kind of statement in the closing seconds, and they did. The Kansas player did say something to him that didn't sit well, and then all of a sudden mayhem ensued.
Yeah. So who won the game? Kansas won the game, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Kansas won the game.
Yeah. That's what I mean, man. Just sports in general, man. And it's not. I'm not. Placing all the blame at the foot of the players. Again, the media and those who with the cameras and the commercials and all of the dollars and so on and so forth that go into all of this. They share some of the blame as well, for sure. But too many plays we see, man. Guys are playing for that top 10 moment. And I still, to this day, I don't care what year it is, as long as I'm living and breathing and I'm watching sporting events or whatnot, man. I don't look at highlights. I don't look at dunk highlights. When they do that thing and I see that your team lost by 30. Yeah, it's just bass awkward to me. You know what I mean? And then everybody wonder why, they trust the process and all that kind of stuff. No, show all of them dunks. Them top 10 Shaq the Fool moments. That seemed to be what's most important now. You feel what I'm saying? But anyway, Jay Bilas had some interesting comments in regards to NCAA basketball and the officiating. And here's what he said, because I think it goes beyond just NCAA basketball and officiating in general, NFL, wherever his refs at. Because to me, the referees should not be out front. Too often, as we just mentioned here a few minutes ago, about the Packers being cheated for and the Patriots, we know that story and so on and so forth. The refs should not be the first thing to discuss. Okay? Why are you standing out? Just do your job, fall to the back, and whatnot. I'm starting to wonder if they want a little bit of, that LeVar Ball, that 15 minutes of fame, too. Here's what he said, Jay Bilas. College basketball has an excellent corps of officials in today's game. If you believe otherwise, please watch game film from 2 decades ago and earlier. I don't know about all that. Excuse me. Officiating was horrifyingly bad back then as compared to now. I don't know about that either. Officials have never been better than they are today. They're more professional, in better condition, and on top of far more today than ever before. Now, that may be true. Yet, the game has demanded more than ever from officials, too. Truthfully, it demands too much. Let me stop right there right quick. Brother Rich, do you agree with that? The game is demanding more demand of the officials. You think so?
Absolutely, because you're asking. Absolutely, because you're asking more of the players. You're asking the officials to commit more. There's technology. Everybody has a phone, so the players, the referees can make less mistakes. But they're pretty much underpaid at that level still, pretty much, when you consider what the coaches are making, what the universities are involved in. And some of these referees have to have other, quote-unquote, careers, if you will, to supplement what they're doing. Yeah, absolutely.
He says, this year, officials are having to police flopping in the coaching box, two meaningless things that have taken away from primary duties. Doc, you agree with that?
Say it again. You were fading in and out.
I'm sorry.
Policing duties. Say it one more time.
He said, this year, officials are having to police flopping and the coaching box, which are two meaningless things that have taken away from primary duties. You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. That is too much. Yeah, I do agree. That's too much. The ref's primary job is to watch the floor of the game. If you sitting there not paying no attention to the game, you do have instances where they'll miss a call, and it's like, oh, well, I was over here doing this. But it's like, this is your job.
Okay.
You're supposed to pay attention to what's going on the floor at all times.
Okay. And then he, of course, goes on to say, officials have to be arbiters on the floor and must also be appeals judges on replay. Double J, what do you say to that?
I can't disagree with that. You know, again, they're being asked. But yes, I agree.
Okay. Then he finishes it by saying, the demands on officials are, quite frankly, ridiculous. The officials should be allowed and encouraged to focus more on the play on the floor rather than the temporal and silly whims of a committee. We, as a game, continue to get in the officials' way, and all of the demands upon officials have had a negative impact upon officiating and on the level of play. Brother Rich, give me your thoughts.
I think that's absolutely a factor. And I think the underlying thing that what's not being said is you have to consider how much these officials are being directed as to what elements of the game they must police more intently and for what purposes, and how much the gambling lines and any corruption is playing a part in that. So that's some of the unspoken language that I think is underlying.
You cut out on me, man. Brother Rich, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Did
Okay.
you hear me? I said that's some of the underlying language I think that's underlying that statement and that sentiment that he's saying here, that there are so many elements of this game that we're holding the referees accountable for, but we're asking them to answer to committees. I'm saying we ought to ask ourselves, what is directing the committees to ask the referees to focus on potential elements of the game in light of the fact that, man, people are gambling now. Gambling is a major element of sports. We're not going to get away from that element of it. That's the elephant in the room. Gambling and corruption are a part of that. I mean, what do you always point us to? The Tim Donaghy effect.
Yeah. And Arnold Rothstein, Big Bank Hank, baby. Doc, what are your thoughts, man, on the whole article or the whole piece and what Bilas is saying?
I mean, I kind of agree. The refs need to focus more on what's going on the court than all of that other stuff that all the other stuff that they're making them do. And like you said, they're highly underpaid. You want me to look at a screen, come over here and police this, watch this, do that, don't miss this call, don't miss that call. Yet when I'm done officiating this game, I got to go officiate high school games and stuff the rest of the week in order to make ends meet.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that they did that. You saying like NCAA officials, not like NBA officials or nothing, because NBA officials are pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
NCAA officials. Yeah, those officials don't make a lot, bro. They don't make a lot. NBA officials, they make enough, but it's not what they should be making for the amount of stuff that they have to do with their job.
Well, you would think
you said,
you would think with the NCAA being $1 billion entity that they see that here we go. It's always going to point back to them the NCAA mafia. I mean, the NCAA is a big deal.
I mean, they could pay those people, but they're not about to do it. They could pay them, but they're not about to do it. Same with the players. Y'all know y'all can give these players more than a full ride scholarship.
Yeah.
That full ride scholarship ain't gonna hurt y'all. That full ride scholarship you gave those, 5 or 6 starters that you got on the floor, that's made back in 1 to 2 games. So I mean, of course you could pay these players more than just that. Same with the refs. You want them to break their back and apologize for missing calls and all this. We'll pay them better, and maybe they'll do better. And take away some of the stuff that you're making them do. Like, you should already have people that are watching the camera so that when something goes wrong, the refs don't have to run over, all right, let me check the cat. It should already be people over there doing it. It should be somebody else's job, not the refs. They got enough running up and down the court to do. They ain't got time to look at, oh, well, let me see what this player did, or I got to watch that player did, or I got to make sure this not a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2. It's just too much. If you're not going to pay them to do all of that, put somebody else in position to do it, or pay the people what they need.
And you know what else? And the reason why I say the NCAA mafia, we've talked about it, and I'm sure we're going to discuss it at some point later on down the road, is because it's ongoing about, the not paying, like you just mentioned, the players and so on and so forth. But not bigger than that, but one thing that stood out to me a while ago, when the NCAA holds the tournament in these NBA venues, NBA arenas. Now, we can all agree the NBA is a big deal on the dollars and cents scale, right? Just how big is the NCAA that when they come in to hold their tournaments in these arenas, that do you know that all banners or all semblance of the whatever NBA city that they playing in for whatever. I know like one year they was playing in Cleveland. When the games were being shown on TV and so on and so forth, there could be no markings of Cleveland Cavaliers anywhere in the building. Now how big is that? Right. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am here. I mean, every banner, it was NCAA everywhere. You couldn't see a Cleveland Cavalier. You couldn't see Dog Pound. You couldn't see nothing that said Cleveland Cavalier in the arena during the time that the NCAA tournament was here. Now, that's big. You mean to tell me that you're so big that and I mean, I'm talking about the stuff you see when you go to the arena when ain't nobody in there, the people sweeping the floor, the markings, they might say Cavs. You get what I'm trying to say, some on the stanchion or on the little corner of the floor or something. All of that stuff got to be removed. I mean, they actually send folk in like, oh, no, what's that C doing right there? Oh, no, get that out of here. You know the time? And it's all NCAA. So that just goes show you how much money the NCAA making. Because the NBA is a big deal. It's a very big deal. Double J, what say you about Mr. Bilas and the entirety of his article?
Well, let's look at this from an infrastructure standpoint. When your median salary is $36,000, and that's pre-tax, what type of I'm almost in disbelief that the quality is actually at the level that it is. Because I personally couldn't be vested in anything. And you also leave the door open to Tim Donaghy-esque scandals because, simply put, you're barely making ends meet here. And then the rigorous travel schedule and having to have second careers. I mean, I'm having families at that. And then, you're going to have an entire fan base potentially hate you, based on the nature of how you, determine an outcome in some respect. I wouldn't put myself in that type of environment.
Yeah, it's a sad deal. That's a sad deal. I mean, so then, okay, so what's this? Give me a possible solution, just a possible one. Outsource more.
Well, I don't think there is a solution. I don't think there's a solution.
One at a time. One at a time. What would you say? Pay the people? That would sound like Double J.
Yeah. First and foremost, pay them accordingly. You have a multi-billion-dollar industry, and you're paying these guys peanuts.
Okay.
And yeah, first and foremost, it starts there. Additionally, to Jay Bilas' point, I mean, I'm glad that he was willing to go out on that limb, because before the NCAA ends up cutting it, so at this stage of the game, he's bringing to the light that these types of situations are not only very relevant, as for reasons like Brother Rich pointed out, with all of us having technology and what's at stake with what they're doing now that sports gambling is legalized in a large part of the nation, and even internationally. There's too much going on. There's too much being asked of them for them to be in these in a very compromising position.
Yeah, Brother Rich, what do you think the possible solutions could be? Adding more refs?
Well, that's no, I don't think there is a solution. Here's why. I think the system works exactly as it's designed to work. And I think that's referees. When you study referees, they're primarily individuals who do what they do for the love of the sport. They're traditionally fathers or former athletes who got involved in the game in a referee context because after they were through playing, or they got involved because their children were involved, or they themselves loved the game and loved the technical aspects of the game. So the NCAA, like so many multinational corporations, they make mischief with that, and they know they're always going to be more a pipeline of these people who are excited to ref Duke basketball games and North Carolina basketball games. So you always have a crop of willing serfs, if you will. And so they don't have to pay them any kind of money. And so they're just happy to be there and be on the television set. And so we should have a situation where that's rectified. But how do you rectify that when it's operating exactly like the NCAA wants them to do it? So then they can call them in a room and say, no, we want you to call traveling a little more this year, or we want you to call this. So the referee is more focused on traveling or this or that, but as opposed to what's going on in the actual floor of the game and calling the basketball game like they know it should be called. But then, like we're talking about, all of us have mentioned, they then open themselves up to corruption because they're not paying them well. They're paying them surf wages. They're not giving them the bounty that they should be benefiting from a multi-billion-dollar sporting complex.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a bunch of different things with that you can see.
Yeah, Doc, go ahead.
I was just about to say that. Just because you happy don't mean you don't deserve to be paid more. You know what I mean?
Right.
The game between Duke and North Carolina, the most expensive ticket was like $5,000 or something like that. It's like, come on now. You got people out here buying $5,000 tickets. You mean to tell me you can't pay this ref enough to where this could be his primary job because he's happy? Like, no, forget that.
Yeah,
There's
capital.
people that's happy at McDonald's. That don't mean they don't want to make more money. You know what I mean? Like these refs, they do a lot. They bend over backwards for the NCAA. They bend over backwards. I mean, you should be able to pay them more than what you're paying them. I mean, you got coaches that's getting paid top dollar, not even making tournaments. Like, come on now, how much sense does that make?
Yeah, that's capitalism at its finest is what it is. Fellas, I appreciate y'all as always. And on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out right here on the Spreaker.com network. You go to Spreaker.com, of course, look at the search box or go to the search box and you type in the Shop Report. Or you can check us out on our Facebook fan page, Twitter, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And while you're over there, give us a follow. Or subscribe to our YouTube channel. And, of course, you can get at us via email, theshopreport365@gmail.com. And let us know what topics you'd like to discuss, or just drop us a line on GP. And if that don't work, Google it. For my man's Be Rich, Double J, Doc, DJ Jew, who had to leave us, and D Gully, who also had to leave us. We appreciate y'all for being on. And all those who support us, we say thank you. I'm Barbershop Jay, and you've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, next time y'all want to know what's really going on, don't go over Richard Jones' house. Come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.
Back to that Salvation Army sale. He goes. Don't forget the flip-flop.
Promo, Jerry.